Hello and welcome back to Sunrise Tarot. My name is Leah and today I'm doing a reading for the sign of Libra for the month of July. Hello, I hope you are doing well. Please remember this is a general reading. This may not resonate with everyone. Please take the parts that do resonate with you and leave the rest behind. Also, you may want to check out your other signs. I've already meditated and shuffled and the cards, and this is the reading that I have for you today. In the past position, we've got the Two of Pentacles, which of course is a card of a juggler. We see that behind this person, the water is kind of, active. So while this person is juggling things, perhaps at work, perhaps at home, perhaps work and home, the emotions are a little bit stressed. There's a little bit intense sort of feeling that is happening. And of course, we have the clarifier, which is strength. Very, very, very positive card. It suggests that you have ability to overcome challenges, that you have been successful in the past because you've overcome challenges. You have controlled the line, which represents carnal desire, material, things, and whatnot. So, in the past, you've been successful in juggling things, which made you, a person who has achieved things and has given you a foundation on which you stand today. But it is also the Two of Pentacles also suggested, lack of balance. So one thing is you got to pay attention, and you got to accept this card as a warning about balance. You got to be aware of making sure that when you're juggling things, people or, projects don't feel neglect. Because if something falls through, this is not going to be good, obviously. It also may suggest that you may want to, change. Maybe you want a new partner in love. Maybe you want a new job. Maybe you want, to change things up, because this is a bit of a nervous energy, stressed out energy, but the strength is very powerful energy, very calm energy. So there's a little bit of a clash between these two cards, and there's a little bit of a standoff. You're trying to maintain the status that you're used to, status quo, but you may not be as successful as you would like to be. In the challenging, in the obstacle, in the negative position, we've got the Two of Swords, which of course is willful blinding. It's you, self-inflicting blindness. And of course there's the Moon, which suggests that there may be some secrets that you're not aware of, or information that is important for you to know and that you don't know. It also may suggest that you have a choice to make, which is creating a little bit of tension, and you're not sure which way to go. This card is, the best way to describe it with one word is confusion. You are confused. You are too much in your head. You're, overthinking, overanalyzing. You are also being stubborn. You kind of know what you want, or maybe you are very resolute in what you want, but there are other factors to consider as well. There is a little bit of fear of being hurt in this card. So you're not, you have to make a decision, but you're kind of maybe stalling a little bit, not making a decision. You don't want to admit something. You're definitely being stubborn. The World card is the last card in the major arcana. It symbolizes completion. The first card is the Fool, and he is setting off into the world. The last card is the World. The Fool has returned home. He's wiser, much more mature, accomplished, and everything. But the World is the final card. It symbolizes being home. It symbolizes completion. It symbolizes good times ahead. But of course, in the negative, negative obstacle position, it suggests that, you know, you have had experiences in the past that were difficult, and you may have not learned from those experiences. Maybe you didn't, there's clearly mistakes in the past that this card represents, and you have not taken what you need from that. The combination of this two cards suggests that you're refusing to admit something. You are refusing to admit that something is over. Maybe, your job is not doing so well, and it's, time for you to find something else before, somebody asks you to, and you're refusing to admit that. And in which case, you clearly have strength in your past, so you are somebody who is going to overcome this obstacle, because you have control, and you've showed it. It's definitely part of you, but maybe there's a relationship that is over, and you don't want to admit that it's come to its natural completion, and that you both have to part ways, and one goes one direction and the other one goes in the other direction. You are something, you're clearly not seeing here, something that you are closing your eyes to. And it's important to maybe, meditate a little bit, allow energy to flow through you without, when you meditate, don't think about anything. Don't think about your job. Don't think about your family. Don't think about your friends. Just allow energy to flow through you. And it, coming from the divine, coming from nature, you will receive an answer as to, as far as like advice, what you should do to help you move on from this obstacle. But there's definitely something, there's a lot of confusion that you're feeling. Maybe you're not getting along with someone, a friend or lover, a person at work. Maybe it doesn't have to be a spouse where the relationship is over. It could be a work partnership that has come to an end. And we know that it has come to an end because in the present position you've got death. Death is a card of an ending, of a transformation, because you see the sun on the horizon. But death is brutal. It's brutal. It's change that is coming, that is unexpected, or unwanted, or unwelcome. But the change is coming, and I don't think you are interested. It suggests, what this reading suggests to me, that you are quite a lovely person, unique person, special person, wonderful person. And you did enjoy something, there was you had good times. And it seems that, there are different signs along the way that are pointing to the fact that something is not, you don't want to admit that something is happening that is not in alignment with your desires. Hermit is not a good card for love relationships. It's being alone, reflecting. It's a card of inner knowledge. It represents a Virgo, earth energy. The man in this card is holding a light. He is smart. He knows where he's going because he's got the light guiding him. He's got a goal, and he's moving towards that goal. This may be somebody in your life that is influencing you to think about what are the things that you want, honestly want, truly want on the inside. And it does look like the Hermit is facing one way and death is facing another way. So there's pretty much the combination suggests that the good times are over. that somebody is leaving, that there is a transformation, that there is an ending, that it is sudden, that you need to let go of something. You need to let go of unhealthy attachments. You need to let go of unhealthy people. You need to let go of unhealthy job. If it is unhealthy, it may be perfectly healthy, but you know what I mean. You're holding on to something that is not working, and you are aware. You're very smart. You're aware that after the ending comes, transformation. There will be a period of feeling alone, being alone, and I don't think that that is, what you want. But life is about cycles, There are times when you're on top of the wave, and there are times when you're at the bottom of the wave, and it makes you appreciate, friendships and love and job that you truly enjoy so much better. And anyone who is afraid of death is afraid of life. We live in a world that is kind of two-dimensional. We've got the light and we've got the darkness. We've got love. We've got hatred. And so it's part of a cycle. And so I think that in July you're definitely going to have a difficult month, because you know what's coming, and what's coming is not so good. I think that based on this reading, I could tell you that it doesn't feel like August or September is going to be super fun, but I do think they'll be better. I do think they'll be better. And I think that by the time you get to like November, December, you will be back to your happy self. So it's a little bit of a setback. It's a little bit of a unpleasant road ahead. But let's see. In the future outcome, we've got the Seven of Swords and the Three of Swords. So yeah, I mean, Three of Swords is heartbreak and pain and bad things. I mean, it's betrayal times three. So the thing is, you may have more than one ending. You may have a little bit of ending kind of like at work and at love. So you may be facing, more than just one obstacle or more than just one challenge. But, the Seven of Swords is not a positive card. It's a card of course, conflict. And there's quite a few not such good cards. I mean, the Two of Swords is not a great card. Death is obviously. A Seven of Swords is a pretty negative card. Three of Swords, I read somewhere that Three of Swords is not as bad as we think. That, for example, because it is next to the Hermit, and the Hermit is walking away from heartbreak. So I think that, you might have a friend who will advise you, and you'll take that advice to heart and start immediately walking away from something that is so painful. So you may be walking away from a job, you may be walking away from a loved one, you may be walking away from the way you think. It doesn't have to be necessarily a loss of a job or a loss of a loved one. It could be the way you think inside of you. But you're definitely, I see a little bit superficial energy. There's definitely, you're trying to keep face when underneath you're feeling alarmed. So the thing about that is, you got to vet your emotions. You got to allow them to be felt. So maybe, take a ride in a car where you can scream and yell, and, if you can't do that at home or at work or whatnot. But you have to allow your emotions to, because if someone does betray you, you need to sort of allow to those emotions to be processed, because if you ignore them, if you stick them in a drawer, they're going to come back and it might create a problem later on. The Seven of Swords is it's a card of a person who's sort of sneaking away with Five of the Swords. So this to me suggests you may be overwhelmed by pain and grief, that you might be you may resort to something that is kind of trickery, that you may resort to a little bit of a deception in what you say to others or what you do, to help you avoid even more drama and conflict. But this is a card of drama and conflict. You in this card, this person is not up to anything good. So you may be thinking, it's natural to feel resentment, especially if you believe someone hurt you or, treated you unjustifiably badly. You may feel a little bit of resentment, and you may resort to doing immoral things or things maybe in a law sense they are okay, but it's not a good thing. And I would encourage you to not, to avoid such behavior, because it usually creates more problems down the road. You may be blamed for something you did not do. Sometimes in this card, people get blamed for something that is mistaken, like in a mistaken way, or perhaps you are blaming someone that you shouldn't be blaming. The Three of Swords is a card of a downward spiral. And so it suggests that, at the very least, this is a wake-up call. And for everyone, it's different. This could be a wake-up call for you. You may be a little bit more resilient than other Libras, For others, it could just be flat-out betrayal, especially if a person is not as resilient, not as strong. But we do have strength here in the background, so definitely suggests to me that it could just be a little bit of an unpleasant stretch. Three of Swords is very, and they're both swords. So this is air element, and air, these cards, any sword card, suggests fast-moving energy. So we're not looking at months. We're looking at days or weeks. But the Death is a very negative card, so it does increase, I think, the negativity of, for example, this trickster card, if you will. And Death is moving the ending of I think there's going to be some kind of an ending of trickery and manipulation, maybe. But the reassuring thing is that the swords are fast-moving energy. Let's see. So you shouldn't be stuck in the dark place for too long. Let's see what the energy oracle cards have for us. I've already meditated and shuffled, and this is the energy cards, oracle cards that we've got. We've got third chakra, Archangel Chamuel, and we've got adjacent possibilities upside down. Normally, this card suggests that you've got a lot of opportunities around you swirling, so pay attention and you will be successful. But in the reversed position, it's a warning to be careful not to miss an unknown opportunity because you're too married to your agenda. It's also asking you to turn inward with a willingness to shake up your old unhealthy patterns and inner habits. And I think that's primarily what is holding you back. This obstacle here suggests that you are too held back by something in the past, as far as like maybe your belief, well, things have always been done this way, or some kind of a tradition or something. This card is a oracle card that suggests think new, think out of the box, think different, which can be hard if you've been locked into a pattern. Especially, this combination suggests that, good times are over, and you may be still referring, what you did when good times were happening. But if they are over, you need to create new way of thinking so that you progress. you are going to step into the possibility of optimism, and so you need to take charge of that. No matter how stuck you feel, you always have options in the thousands of choices you make every day. So that's important to remember. You do have a choice. Third chakra archangel Camuel. Let's see what is the meaning of that card. But, usually when you've got a chakra card, that means you have to unblock something. The powerful Archangel Chamuel is holding a beautiful sphere of golden light at the solar plexus, which is the location of your third chakra and the center of your life force energy. This is a great time to move toward the completion of your desires. Your life force is vibrating with power and resonance, and your soul is calling you to direct your energy in a focused, purposeful manner. This angel of power is with you now, so go for it. And if you'd like to do an affirmation, the affirmation for this card says, "My third chakra is open to its perfect, healthy state. I radiate a bright and vibrant life force energy. I feel excitement for all that I do." Let's see what the ancestors and angels have for us. And the first card is High Priest, Intend and Create. This is the first time I've had this card. The second one is Elder, Move Beyond Ancestral Patterns. And I kind of see this card very much related to this reading because there's something that is holding you back. There's something that you are being stubborn about because you believe that past experience, is what you maybe want to repeat. But even if you do, it needs to be new, and it needs to be something that you create in a new sense of energy. Let's see what the High Priest stands for. I don't think I've had this card before, and I'm just curious to see. Recognize that you have the power to change your life. Face your fear and align with light. You are a bridge between heaven and earth, and it's important for you to know that you are more powerful and connected than you may think. Everything you are giving attention and energy to at this time is creating your way forward. There have been some setbacks, but accept these as experiences that have led you to a deeper understanding of yourself and your spirit. Know that you're being guided by the ancestors to direct your thoughts and energies towards what you want to grow, heal, and expand. And then watch it happen right before your eyes. So, a lot of times we feel fear. And I want you to feel, every time you feel fear, recognize that you're feeling fear. Stop for a second, acknowledge that you're feeling fear, and then remember that it is a wonderful emotion, that it is a spectacular emotion, and it tickles you. Every time you feel fear, you are alive. Every time you feel fear, you're moving forward. Every time you feel fear, you're overcoming a challenge. Do not be afraid, or be afraid, but feel courage even more. Courage is the thing that helps you overcome regardless, how big an obstacle may be. Let's see what the universe has for us. I shuffled and meditated on the messages from the universe, and it says, "When I am in alignment with the love of the universe, peace cannot be disrupted." That's amazing. This is the first time I also had this card. So, in order for you to be in alignment with the love of the universe, you have to let energy and let vibrations go through you. And the way you do that is meditating, sitting and closing your eyes for a second. It could be in the car, it could be on the couch, but better if it's on the floor, maybe like on a porch or something, where you are closer to nature, where you feel, light on your skin. And, even if it is a minute or two or 5 or 10, just let your mind not think about anything, and let your mind just be, with no thoughts, no desires, no needs, no nothing, just, sense of existence, and that's it. And it will help you align. You could also do sage. You could burn a little bit of sage to get rid of some of the negative energy in your home. So what you do is you light the sage, and you kind of walk around your home with it, and it's basically like a lot of smoke coming out. And then when you're ready to open the windows, when you kind of sort of have a little saying, and ask the spirit to get rid, make all the negative energy leave this home. Only peace and prosperity and happiness are welcome. And then you open the windows, you open the doors, and the negative energy leaves. And you have to do it, regularly, because sometimes negative energy kind of, grows and comes, hoards itself. I find a deeper meaning and personal growth amid the discomfort. So the moon is always a symbol of something unknown, something secretive. So this card is a reminder that you may not control things that are happening outside of you, but you are controlling the things that are happening inside of you. So, discomfort is another reason to be proud of yourself, because you are overcoming that challenge. You are kicking butt and taking names. And even if you might not feel like you're overcoming that challenge, there's definitely processes that are taking place inside of you. You are not always aware of everything. Sometimes it takes time for you to realize what you have been through and how you feel about that. Sometimes you don't realize in real time everything that is happening around you and taking place around you. But remember what I said about fear, and that relates to the discomfort as well. I hope you enjoyed this reading. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you next time. But also please remember that I will be doing bi-weeklies next week, so please come back and check those out. And like I said, thank you so much for visiting. Please like, share, and subscribe. I really appreciate you stopping by.